Hello everybody, this is Miss Aline Infante, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the most important theoretical information found in the Developing Skills in the Classroom, Class Ontology Chapter 3, Teaching Speaking. Speaking is the most common output we have. It is the principal way we have to communicate with other people. However, when we are learning a second language, speaking can be a challenge. Students can read, understand what they hear, write, but speak, it's sometimes difficult because we do not have second chances when we are speaking, as we may have in reading or writing. That is why I wanted to start with a phrase of Charles Groth. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students, because in the speaking field, we have a great challenge to overcome. The chapter starts by stating 4 reasons why we speak. According to Shaw and McDonough, are to expressing ideas and opinions, to express a wish or desire to do something, to negotiate or to solve any particular problem, and to establish and maintain social relationships or friendships. In the organizing principles, we find an interactive approach, which, according to Byron, it involves the speakers and listeners in a two-way process. As we reviewed before, it's difficult to disassociate the skill of listening and speaking, since in many situations they are mutually dependent and rarely carry out in isolation. Then we have the characteristics of spoken language. And here we find Brown and Joly's examination of spoken language forms most frequently used, like incomplete sentences, subordinate clauses, very few passives, etc. These features are usually associated with conversations, and although we may not be conscious of it, there are a certain well procedures or rules to follow. So, according to McCarthy and Carter, speaking in a conversation may appear to be spontaneous and unplanned, but in fact is highly organized and it follows a rigid code of conduct. This means that the process involved in our brain when speaking is bigger than we may think. The implications in the classroom, remind us the importance of authenticity. However, it's true that in speaking, it's sometimes difficult to see what teachers can do to make activities authentic. The use of fillers is a good option, since a student that is able to incorporate the use of fillers in conversation can be assured that his or her English will sound instantly more natural and native speaker-like. This section also explains that the well-known interference of language 1 when learning language 2 is not always an interference, and in fact, it can be useful. Another important topic is the teacher's use of English. Since we are the models for the students, the way we use the language is a fundamental source of learning, as well as the interaction between the teacher and the student. And related with this last topic, we find a good strategy we can use is grouping, since this strategy increases language practice opportunities, improves quality of student talk, helps in individualized instruction, promotes a positive, effective climate, and motivates students to learn. Now, talking about a class. Thinking in a group of second or third grade in elementary education, I would start by presenting an attractive or useful topic to talk about. It is important that the students feel a reason to talk, especially because it represents a big challenge. So if it's not necessary, students will remain in silence. My students loved video games. So talk about that or about gamers would be something interesting for them. First, I would present a video or some pictures to introduce the topic, to awake their curiosity. Then I would make some close questions, easy to answer, to encourage them to start talking. Something really important is the environment I create in my class. Students must know they can make mistakes, and that is okay, because mistakes give us the opportunity to learn from them. So I would start with easy questions. Then I can ask them for personal experience or facts they know about the topic in order to make them talk a bit more with their own words. In this stage, it's important to be patient. Do not correct them or complete their sentences too fast. Let them try. What I allow is to other students raise their hand and help the student with difficulties to explain what the student cannot do. So the whole class start to help each other and motivate themselves to speak. After that, we can play a game to change the mood, but still practicing. The game I like is find someone who has played video games, or someone who doesn't like, someone who knows this gamer, someone who doesn't. The teacher will give them a piece of paper with the questions they have to be asking, but also answering. So students go with as many students as they can and ask the questions, but also answer the questions. And all this is speaking, but playing. So it's nice for them. Finally, I will be grouping them and ask them to create a short speech about the topic to present it to the class. This speech is not necessarily written. They are only going to present it speaking. So they can just say, okay, you're going to say the introduction, I'm going to say this part, she's going to say the other part, and that's it. Because the topic is speaking. And that will be all. So I hope this can be useful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.